Good evening. I'm Argonaut. Welcome to my studio, and my voice is going, which is odd. Probably the curry I've just had. Oh yes. Okay. Didn't want to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just yeah. Okay, this when I did some cleaning up around in here. No, I'll leave it. I want to try and avoid using that tonight. Slightly. If I have to use it, I have to use it, but Thea is fascinated by the vacuum cleaner nozzle. Every night whilst I'm doing the cleanup, he comes and sits and watches me do it. Oh, hey, that's convenient. The convenience is that angle in there is exactly the angle of that, 60 degrees. Right. Okay, first thing is a small U gouge. That's a V. I might need that, so we'll leave it out. But a small U gouge. So what I'll do is put in the lips around here. What we do is just carve a smooth area, basically. Here alongside the hair. Yeah, then just before the start of the stream I was going to say something, and you know what, for the life of me I can't remember what it was I was going to say. Well, there is an important event coming up for Argonaut, which I can't really say anything about, but it does mean that I will potentially then be in a position to do my glasswork course or experience and know whether I actually like it or not. My eyes are going funny. But that I know that's at least a month or so away at the very least, but it's becoming more of a reality. Now, one of the things I have to do here is to do some work on the computing architecture here at the studio, I'm kind of wondering whether to actually stream doing that work or whether just to get on with it in the background. One of the things I need to do, well, a couple of things that I need to do. One of them is to set up a brand new virtual server. I operate the main servers here as virtual devices. Well, most of them I operate as virtual devices. The DHCP server isn't. But I run a virtual environment, so I have my own computing cloud. Which runs various things, including a Microsoft Windows server. But that complete system needs updating. It is seriously out of date, but I can't update it because I'm using it, and an update would take it offline for too long. So one of the things I have set over there is a new micro server, and I've yet to buy some discs for it. What I should have somewhere around here is a RAID controller, which hopefully will work in it. I intend to set that up as a virtual server, replicating what my current one does, but with up-to-date software, or the latest version of the software. Once I do that, what I ought to be able to do then is link the two together in what would be a failover condition. And if I do that, what I can then do is transfer the running systems from one server to the other server, non-stop, or virtually non-stop. And then I can completely rebuild the old one up to the new standard. Now, it's debatable whether I actually need two, but one of the things about having two would be that one is an automatic backup for the other. So I've got two main servers running, two cloud servers running, and then I can run the application servers on top of that. So things like home automation, backup, the music stores, the picture stores, these sorts of things. And anything else I want to run, like Minecraft server or, I don't know, Fortress Craft server, something. I can always run those on there. But that'll take some setting up, and I'll have to do it on stream, or just to get on with it. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but it's one of these things that you set up so well. There's a single user, if you like, you set up so rarely that you never really remember how to do it. One of the things I really should get set up though is a backup server. I already have one, but it's based on the Microsoft server, and essentially it only backs up the Windows computers. So none of the Unix machines that I've got get backed up, and therefore they are vulnerable to failing, and I can't easily restore them. Which, given that one of them is the master DHCP server, would be a problem if that went down, as it occasionally seems to do, but comes back up after a little while. So I've got that to sort out at some point. So I am thinking about setting up a complete new backup regime, one that will back up not only the Windows machines but the Unix machines as well. So I can even back up things like the Raspberry Pis that are around the place, complete with their current config. Right, now let's switch to the larger gouge and start cutting hair again. Yeah, that one's smoothing off down there. I'm just thinking, how do I do his nose? Isn't there? Actually, let's give his nose some shape. What I'm doing is just carving under his nose a little bit. That makes his nose stand out a bit. So now, of course, I'm now into completely shaping this. That's alright. nose isn't actually that prominent, it's more colour than shape. So the question is, do I want to make it shape as well, given that I'm carving? Do I need to add some shape to it just to make it sort of more noticeable? This chisel's blunt. That's why I'm having a bit of a problem with it. So let's keep the sharp edge out of the way. Add some polishing compound to abrasive, actually. I suppose it's a minor abrasive. We say polishing, but polishing is actually abrasive. There we go. One thing I probably should do here is use a U gouge, a larger sort of diameter one like that, because then I can get a rounded curve. Flat chisel will give me just a flat, unsurprisingly. And you need some sharpening as well, don't you? U gouges are a little bit more awkward to sharpen, because you have to rotate them as you're doing it. You have to hold the correct angle and rotate it, because the cutting blade is all the way around the U. Over. Yeah, this is one that doesn't quite fit on that side, but it'll do.
lost without you here with me. If I can find a way, come sing with me, with all the joy that we got in our heart, lost somewhere in the gray in between. I forget how happy we can be.
Be really careful not to jab into this thing that I've already jabbed into. Okay, so I'll have to tidy that up again afterwards, but that's okay. Again, could have been avoided potentially, but never mind, it's done now. Okay, so now we just shave this gently like this, just to smooth out the features a little bit.
With all the joy that we got in our heart, lost somewhere.
Just so I can get a shape I like.
I forget how happy we can be. I forget how happy we can be.
So by taking really light cuts, what I'm getting here is shiny wood basically. It's really shiny. Which just gives me a slightly different texture in that area. Okay. Sort of trying to blend his nose in a little bit. Don't want it too pointy on the top. I do kind of want it to stand out a little bit. So give him an actual sort of nose as opposed to... So it sort of sticks out slightly. When you look at the sort of drawings it kind of doesn't. Say the pictures it doesn't, but... Now we will give him some nostrils. We'll actually sort of drive the rotary tool in and give him a nostril, but for the moment it's not all that important. Okay. Now his eye. Not keen on the eye, but we'll be coming back to that again. Okay, now what we'll do is, having done that, we now put some fur in around here. His eye, I think, is going to be right about there, I think. So we'll drive some fur away from that. That is the V gouge, isn't it? No, that's the U gouge. Got to get the right one. That's the V. So basically what I need to do here is carve away any of the flat wood, but just do it in straight lines. So really it's just a case of, it's almost, well, it is random, but if I leave any of the original sort of wood surface, it looks kind of flat, not like hair. So this is just lots and lots of relatively random carving lines. I need to do a few more down marks around here. and then we come round to this side where I want to shape this more, which is why we cut the background down yesterday. So at the moment there's kind of a bend. What I want to do is lose that bend for a start. I want it to be more kind of a curve rather than sort of a step change. Yeah, I want to try and do is just well, I wonder if I can do it this way. I'm going to differentiate the lip a little bit. This is more akin to outlining, which is not something I would normally do. But it kind of looks right. I mean, you would get sort of a crease underneath and a shadow, so it's not too far away, but it is slightly akin to outlining the mouth. But it seems to be working. Okay, now for these eyes. So, where's my knife? There we go. So what I'm going to do now is take the knife and just get my fingers off the blade. Which could do with a little bit of sharpening itself. And I sharpen this exactly the same as I sharpen the chisels. Well, I say exactly. It's slightly different in that you're doing the whole blade at once. But it's essentially the same thing that's going on. Now the eyes really aren't big enough here to give much detail. Now I'm concentrating because this blade is sharp. And I really don't want it to cut where I don't want it to cut. Which it quite easily would if I don't take great care with it. Okay. So, yes, you've got some really black teeth. Let's that's burnt wood or carbonized wood from when I was running one of the tools down it. Initially, probably one of the abrasive tools, and it was basically blunt. And so what it does is generate a lot of heat, and a lot of heat in wood is pyrography. Enough heat and it carbonizes, which is black. Pyrography. Now just taking care here. Again, using my arms, because of the way I'm positioning this blade, my arms are on the wood. They're not going anywhere. I'm using my fingers to drive the knife, not my arms. There isn't really any need to use my arms to drive the knife. It's sharp enough to do the cutting, so. Probably get in there with a chisel actually. So I shall do so. Okay, and now I'll use the knife because I can't get that piece of wood out any other way. I do seem to do a lot of this carving where I'm working in extremely limited space. I don't know why I can't pick a subject that's got nice lot of space around it that I can very easily just get in with a knife or a chisel. Instead of you doing all these challenging pieces, shall we say. Okay, so I'm just trying to clean up some of the mouth cavity here. And some of this is packed wood flour. Right, okay, so one of the next things I want to do is smooth this side off here and then undercut if I can. So this bit down here is the side of a block of stone, so it wants to be smooth. Well, as smooth as a block of stone is, that is.
Lips are frozen, hands are not. My heart is alive.
Got to be really careful because it's pulling on, it's lifting the wood off the face. And that would cause me basically to pull a long thread off. Which isn't something I want to do. Let's get rid of those. Right, now what I've got to do is smoothing there, because earlier on in carving we created some cuts. In the carving process, I don't want those cuts to be visible. So what we do is we shave the wood down until we undercut the cuts. Now often this sort of thing is an iterative process of going backwards and forwards like here in the corner between 3 or 4 different angles, just to eventually remove all this like bumps and cuts. And now I'm going to go in this way down here to remove the ones I've just created by removing the other ones. There we go. I think that's close enough. Hello Wolfie! You are currently walking the dog in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Yay for mobile phones, or smartphones I guess. At least that's something I have on my mobile plan, is I have unlimited data, which means I can watch video out in the middle of nowhere, and have done so in the past as well. Of course, if you're truly in the middle of nowhere, you've got no internet, you've got no mobile phone signal, then you're stuffed. So I'm just doing a bit of cleaning up around the place. Let's go down there a little bit, those ears. I'm going to go in there with one of the roastery tools just to clean that up now then. So, clean this block up here. I'm cleaning things up because, largely speaking, much of that's probably done. You're just over halfway. You know what, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to time this stream to finish just as you get back. Actually, which probably won't be too far out if you've started around about 8 o'clock. Right, what I need perhaps to do is to take the knife now and cut some of these edges a little bit so they look like clumps of hair. And the knife does this better than the chisel does. So just by taking small chunks out, it looks more like sort of hair clumps, natural hair, than it does with just a straight sort of rounded edge. Oh bother. The wood splits really easily. Oh yes, we've got something to do on that here. Again, the wood grain is not my friend today with this. So what I'm doing is just taking nicks out of it. And it makes the edge jagged, not smooth. Or not. It wasn't exactly smooth, but it's removed sort of what is essentially a roughly smooth edge. I'm just making it literally just making it more jagged. So it kind of just looks like, you know, as I say, clumps of hair. Some more work done on the top there. Okay, I need to do a little bit more carving there, so I want my re-gouge that one just right on that tip of the hair there. I need to just make it look flat. So I just want to put some score lines into it here, or hair lines, just like that, which then sort of takes away that effect. Yeah, then can I undercut this, I guess is the next thing, or rather the next thing is to undercut that.
I can't seem to look away. I'm hypnotized by you. I'm hanging on what you say. I'm hypnotized by
Slight undercut creates a shadow, as you kind of sort of can see around here, and the shadow just gives your eye the illusion that it's not actually joined. It doesn't need much, just a tiny bit, which is all I've just done it around on the top there, because you can see the shadow. If there's a shadow, it cannot be part of the same thing. Yes. Ooh, this is getting warm here. Right, so now then, these are blocks. Let's add a little bit of interest to these blocks. Do I do it with a V or do I do it with a U? Let's do it with a V.
wanna let you loose inside my brain to see if you'd run or stay. I can't seem to look away. I'm hypnotized by you. I'm hanging on what you say. I'm
So I'm cutting grout lines or block lines in there. It makes it look like, well, like kind of like bricks or blocks that have been built.
hypnotized. I'm hypnotized.
And we'll do the same here. Well, I've purposely offset it because just to make it look noticeably different. I'll use a scalpel in this particular case, but I use a knife as well. The scalpel for a slightly finer point for me to get into that groove. Just a tiny bit of tidying up here because I can't actually quite get the right angle with the chisel. There we go. And that instantly looks like, I don't know, a castle wall, something like that. So we're going to do the same, try and do the same thing here. Now it will be a little bit more of a challenge here though. Just because we don't have quite as much space to get the chiseling. So we'll have, oh no, we'll put one there. The only criteria for these vertical lines is that they're offset to one another. So you don't put two on top of each other. There's always some sort of slight gap between them. You don't ever put blocks directly on top of each other when you're building. It makes it highly unstable. Or rather not very stable. I suppose it's highly unstable, but it could be if you put enough of them like that. Should always be interleaved, half and half, or at least half, at least over interleaved with each other. Okay, that's that bit of the background done.
Move slow, think fast, think slowly behind my eyes. I'm in disguise.
Ah.
Your heart, your mind, your eyes. Deep inside. Let's open up all the rules this time.
Now let's work on this outside bit here again. Still haven't decided about that jewel.
Something for you to keep in mind. I remember back in those days when we used to play.
Nearly.
I remember
Yes, I did.
we used to ride this sleigh.
So I want my I want my big chisel out. I'm now going to do some more work on this. I'm using it in a slightly nice style because I'll get a better surface out of it in this particular case than I would do otherwise. If I just drive it straight across, I will actually get more of a rough surface. So I'm kind of planing it rather than chiseling it, I suppose. I did not mean to do that, but anyway.
Stay close, think quick, think purely behind your soul. You're in control. Open your mind, your prize, your eyes. Deep inside. Let's go through all
That surprised me. It acted just like there was a stop cut there, and there may well have been, I guess. There, look, that feels flatter, except there's a bump there.
something for us to keep in mind. I remember back in those days when we used to play. I remember back when we used to ride this sleigh. Don't move on.
So something I'll have to decide whether to carve that out the edge down, because the edge is rough. Hello, you are back. You're back as in you've finished walking the dog and you're back, or you're back as in you're watching me again? It occurs to me, what's the weather like over there? Because it's not the sort of weather I'd particularly like to be out in. Over here we've got sub-zero temperatures, I think, at the moment. Not very much sub-zero, but they are sub-zero. I think we're about -1 at the moment. It's a really sort of little piece of wood just there. That's a technical term, by the way. And feels sort of really sort of porous and not very nice. Lady Zara just went in a cupboard. The cupboard is where cat food is stored. And Theo, who's laid on the chair here, suddenly perked his ears up and brought his head up. I'd swear at times cats have some sort of secret cupboard opening warning device secreted, probably an invisible one, because it doesn't matter where they are in the house or even out in the garden, you open the cupboard where their food is stored and whew, they're like a rocket you are, yes, and appear. I don't know whether to do anything about that. It's flatter now anyway, which is what I was aiming for. Yeah, let's do a bit of work on that. It's not quite. Don't want to do anything more with that. It's just going away from me. The more I carve it, the more it disappears. So, as in, it keeps going down. You can sometimes end up chasing things like that, and you end up with a not very good result. That's it, sounds you just doing that. I've got one finger underneath and one on top, and I can feel the changes in level, so I can tell it's thicker there than it is here. I don't know whether to do anything much about it, because I'm going to carve a pattern on here anyway. One of those cases where maybe I should have left alone. It's because I'm carving, you're forced to carve with a grain really, and it lifts. Not unsurprisingly, you're sort of running a chisel down the middle of it. So, but it's the wood effectively splitting off. And of course when it does that, it creates a rough surface. It's not carved anymore, it's pulled. Like tearing a piece of paper, you don't get a smooth edge. Okay, so let's do some on this other side here. I mentioned I don't like this voice. I have to be careful I don't chop this whole rim off. If I do that, I'd be seriously annoyed. I might at that point consider gluing it back on. I haven't decided whether to actually round off the edges of that as well. So, you know, make it a round top on the frame. Okay, now I'm going to switch to this smaller one to get into this corner. Okay, now this bit here I know has got to be lower by quite an amount. So we shall work on that now. Still not decided what to do about that, but we're rapidly coming to the point where I have to decide what to do about that. And this is going to be real awkward to carve. I've really got to do it cross grain. Otherwise I run the risk of splitting it down. Theo's currently, as I mentioned earlier, asleep on my chair here and his tail's hanging down over the edge of the seat. And there's a great temptation to just tweak it slightly. have to carve around there because of some cuts. When I first started carving, one of the things I used to think would be a good thing would be to have grain that went exactly parallel up and down the piece of wood, because I guess as a beginner, carving when the wood, the grain disappears at an angle is relatively difficult, because you've got to keep swapping angles and directions and things. But with experience, and now the fact this is actually the first time I've ever carved a piece of wood that is exactly horizontal, I now know it's not something I want. It's a relatively, no, it's not a bad thing, but it makes life a relatively difficult. Back then I thought it would be a lot easier, but it actually isn't, because the wood just splits so easily. I mean, it may, partly the characteristics of the wood as well, I guess. A wood that had sort of a stronger cohesion across the grain, it possibly doesn't affect quite so much. I mean, otherwise it would be relatively nice to do. It's you're not getting the wood grain forcing the chisel into a dive, as you might do if the grain was disappearing downwards. Okay, wow. Okay, Wolf, if you're still around, sorry, I've been concentrating on what I'm doing. Have a good evening. I'm about to stop anyway, because that background is okay to carve onto, and the banner is okay to carve onto, and I've got to decide what to do about that jewel. It's decision time for the jewel. I'm half inclined to remove it. The other half of me is inclined to leave it, which is why there's a kind of dilemma there. As to what to do. I really don't know if it adds anything or whether it takes it away. And that's part of the issue, I guess. I mean, I still can carve it and see what it looks like, and then remove it if I don't like it. We still have that option because it sits proud of the background. I want to do that though before I carve the background. We may do that. The lettering next, but I might leave the lettering till the very last thing, just because things like the middle of the E would be easy to knock out if I'm not, taking care. We may actually, noticing that that's down there like that, I may do something similar on this side, just to even it up. Oh, well, maybe. I was going to say just to even it up a bit, but actually, maybe not. But the Gibberer itself is largely done. I might apply some pyrography. I say make his eyes black, and maybe black teeth as well, and around his mouth. They gum around his mouth. Apply some watercolour pencils. Don't know. I don't know whether I like that idea or not. Applying the pencils, that is. I kind of probably don't want to wet it because that would potentially cause the wood to sort of split ultimately if we're not careful. It will be the same with red ink, or maybe we just put actual acrylic paint on the green eyes and red lips. That's a possibility as well, because that would kind of make it pop out, wouldn't it? With green eyes, red lips, maybe red gums. Leave the rest uncoloured. From that perspective, rather than applying pyrography. But then that implies, do we actually want to write on there with maybe with a pyrographic pen, feral Gibberer, rather than carve it out? Write on there. Now that might be better because we've got less danger then of doing things like knocking off letters and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to do it like it would be on the card, which would be an outline. That doesn't really work for carving, but well, maybe tomorrow what we'll do is we'll carve that I'm even wondering whether to put, if I put the jewel there, do we put the number 1 on it? Or do we just put a jewel? Again, I guess I can carve it with the 1 there and see what it looks like. We can take the 1 off and be left with just the jewel, or we can take the whole thing off. Anyway, that's a decision maybe for tomorrow. So, talking of tomorrow, yes, there will be, hopefully, this stream tomorrow. I start between 7, well, as soon after 7 PM UK time as I can, that's GMT at the moment, and I'll go on for about 2 hours till about now. So if you like what you see, want to come back and see some more of it, then push the follow button, and you'll then get obviously the notification from Twitch when I'm live. Or if you follow me on Twitter at MattZaraganart, then you also get notification there. I tweet when I go live. Actually, it's a bit more better information there, because if I can't go live, I also tweet that as well, usually anyway. If I can do any form of notification at all, it'll be on Twitter. And if you'd care to consider supporting the stream, there's the 2 buttons at the top right. Proceeds will either go towards doing things like buying the materials, tools and broadcast equipment. And if you want to see any of the old stuff, the old archive of carving, pyrography, glass engraving, punchcraft, magic dots, what else? Jewellery making, bead weaving, rug making. Then, and I've forgotten something. Those that aren't available on Twitch, which isn't very many, you can find on YouTube, youtube.com/Zaraganart. The complete, or almost complete, archive of every broadcast is available there. Some 700 to 800 hours of broadcast, which will take you some time to watch, but they are the real-time broadcasts, so they will take quite a bit of time to watch. What's that, 800 hours? That's a lot of time. I don't know how long that would take you if you watched it 24 hours a day. That would be at least 40 days, wouldn't it? Yeah. 40 days and 40 nights. I'm sure that's a quote for something, but I don't know what. But anyway, with that, I'm going to say I hope you will join me on the stream tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.
Are you ready? Are you ready?